What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by to watch this video. Make sure you check out our older videos as well. First things first, we got some major news that Austin actually moved to Texas. So he no longer lives here in Florida with me. So it means I'm going to be stuck on the Camaro by myself again. Not a big deal, we'll still get it done. So do me a favor, go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below wishing him good luck for his new career adventures. Couldn't be more proud of him, of the progress we've gotten done. But like I said, we're still going to be pushing on. Still trying to get this thing done this year. So got a quick update for you. Got a lot of parts in, which is really good. Still awaiting a lot of parts, so we've been kind of slowed up a little bit, but we're still trying to make progress here and there. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what we got right here and show you a little bit of updates on the car we did. So first things first, huge shout out to Steven over at Precision Fabrication and Wiring. So he is the one that kind of set us up with this whole deal right here. And I'll go ahead and start over here. So now this is a Race Wire Solutions switch panel. And you can see starter, ignition, fuel pump, water pump, engine and trans fan, ice intercooler pump, boost controller, and data logger. So this is what we got. This is the kit that he offers on his website. On that website right there, Precision Fabrication and Wiring. I'll have a link down in the description below. So it comes with a Race Wire Solutions switch panel, which doesn't come loomed. I loomed this myself, so I just took some heat shrink and some of that Alex Tech looming that I'll get more into here in a later. But we actually found this on Amazon, and this stuff is super sweet. So just loomed that, put a little heat shrink here and there, about every foot and a half, just to clean it up right now, since it's not just a bunch of loose wires. But I mean, switch panel is super nice. These are all down activated rockers, except for the starter, or sorry, up activated. I figured in any case of an emergency, if you're trying to flip switches, you want to just throw your hands down, or you're going to throw them down to turn them off. So I think that might be the better option, but we'll see. Moving over, we got our Leash Electronics Street strip board. Now this is the 8 relay street strip board. And I'll show you, it's got all the light outputs you need. It's got all the inputs for all your lights, battery, ignition, trans brake, got a ground stud right here. These are all fused relays as well, and inputs and outputs. Our relay inputs right here, and then obviously here you have your main power relay outputs. So when you turn the switch over here, it'll activate one of these guys, one of these relays, which will put power through these fuses to the wiring that I'm going to be showing you next. So super nice leash board, really compact and kind of nice. So we were trying to figure out what would be the cleanest way to do our wiring, and we figured this would probably be the best, just because everything is all in one. I mean, all the lights, inputs, outputs, relays, everything is gonna be right there. So if we ever have to get more, we can always get more leash boards. They have single, they have duals, they have, I think, triples and quadruples too. So if we needed 4 more relays, we can get a quadruple board for them too. So it's super nice. One thing I do want to mention is one of these was supposed to be for a trans brake, but according to Leash Electronics on their website, they're having a hard time trying to find that specific relay, so they changed it to a normal relay. So we'll have to get a solid state relay to activate the trans brake, but the switch will still be activated through the board, I believe. We'll get more into that once we start wiring the car. All right, moving on. Oh, also want to just mention this is the diagrams for both from Race Wire. So all the wiring and colors and stuff like that, which is super sweet. Oh, we've also got lights in the bottom too. So we got the little option for lights, little dome lights with the switch right there. And then here's the Leash Street wiring board. And it's telling you, it mentioned something about the relay right there. Relay G is set up to shut off if trans brake input is activated. Okay. So yeah, like I said, we'll get more into this once we actually start wiring the car, but it is super helpful to have these things that give you, what's what and where is where. So it's really nice. All for your lighting outputs, inputs for lighting. Yeah, really good. Definitely should make the process of wiring this car easier, which we've never done this before. And this is really what sold us on the kit that Precision makes. And this is their entire wiring kit for this board. Now this is specifically for the leash boards, right? So we have our power, our main power for all the relays, and every piece of wire, relay output ignition, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, right? If you look down here, battery, ignition, A through G, every piece of wire is labeled, I think every 6 inches or every 12 inches. Everything is labeled. So if you're running wire through the car, and we're going all the way back to the intercooler pump or all the way to the fuel pump, and we don't know what wire is what, it's going to be really hard to diagnose and troubleshoot if there's something wrong. So that is super helpful that all this is already pre-labeled. We might end up making some more, I don't know, vibrant labels, or having little tags on them or something. Never know, we'll figure that out. But that's super nice for troubleshooting, and I just really thought this was probably the best bang for your buck, because ordering all this different type of wire, all the different colors, all the crimps, all this and that, and doing it probably saved us a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of money, because we'll still have to buy some wire, which is kind of a given, but majority of it's already done, so it's super nice. So all of these crimps, I guess he said some of their guys complain that they're not heat shrinked or whatnot, but these are all machine crimps and machine tested, right? So every crimp is done by a machine and it's tested by a machine. So, they're all tested. They're all not going to fall off, which is really cool too. So let's see, we have our main input harness, right? And again, it's all labeled. It's all of it labeled. Ignition 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this one? It says it somewhere. I can't see it. We got trans brake output. What's that one? Input for parking lights, hazard lights. It's the purple one. Input, was it RB? Either way, again, all labeled. Super, super nice that it's all labeled, right? I mean, even, let's see, even right here, ignition inputs. What's this one say? Battery outputs, trans brake control, light inputs. I mean, you can't get any easier than that. This is 100% literally Barney proof. So if we wire this car wrong, there's just something wrong with us. I'm just going to say that right now. So we got our relay inputs, and we have our light outputs. So these are 2 harnesses. And like I said, these are all meant for the leash board. So let's see, we got relay inputs, which would be right there. So all of those will go into those. So we got input A, you guys can see that, and they're all labeled again. Every piece of wire is labeled, like at the very tail of it. Input A, we got input D right there. So I mean, everything is labeled, which is super awesome. Saves a lot of time for troubleshooting and whatnot. And here's our entire light harness, light output harness, right? So parking brake, I mean, you name it, front, rear. I mean, this is going to be so much easier for us to wire this car up, because now we have almost a terminated harness. It's like a 50% terminated harness, right? We'll still have to cut it to length and do our own connections to whatever we're connecting, but that's it. We don't have to cut all the wire, make the lengths, route them, make them nice. Well, we still have to route them, but I mean, we'll make it nice. You guys know the deal. But yeah, I thought that was super convenient and super nice, and really, honestly, for the price, you're actually saving money buying this kit rather if you're doing it yourself. Now, if you're a shop and you've got all the stuff laying around already, you got spools of Teleflex wire and this and that, and that stuff adds up real quick, especially all the tools to do it yourself as well. I mean, we got even some cheapy non-insulated terminal crimps, or crimp tools. They're still $40-50, so it all adds up really quick. So we wanted to get the best bang for our buck right there, and this kit was definitely the choice. So again, Race Wire Solutions relay board, or switch panel, Leash Electronics relay board, and this is the precision fabrication and wiring harness. Now this is on his website, like I said, I'll put it down below. All right guys, moving over to the car side, go ahead and show you what we did. Now these are bulkheads from it's called Fastronics, and it's a company on Amazon that actually sells a bunch of these stuff. So these are all power and ground bulkheads. I mean, you can use them as, you know, whatever really, obviously for power or ground, but obviously your black one is the ground. And this is the way we came up with our wiring. You know, we have, this one is straight to the alternator, so that one goes straight to the battery in the back, which I'll go ahead and show you in a minute. This one is from the battery to the starter, or sorry, I should say from the kill switch to the starter. So that goes to the starter. We got the top one's the alternator, and then the bottom one is a ground straight to the engine, right? So we grounded our engine straight to the battery, and then we have a secondary one on the cylinder head right here to the chassis. So it gets a little confusing, but we have our engine grounded to the battery, and then our engine grounded to the chassis. Now back here, at our battery side, we have two from the battery. So two grounds, I should say. One's to the chassis right here, and this was an old seatbelt hole. So we went ahead and welded a stud to that. And this is our chassis ground here. And then this one, the one that runs underneath, and all the way up front to our bulkhead right there, that one is running straight to the engine. And then we got back here, over here, let's see these two right here, these two power ones. And then going through our mega fuses. So we have two mega fuses right there. And these are 250 amp piece. Definitely not necessary to run those. We wanted to run some type of fuse between the battery and the cutoff switch and the battery and the alternator, just for whatever the case may be. Figured it was a good safety precaution rather than not having one at all. So if it blows continuously, we know we have a problem, or the fuses aren't able to handle that much. But nothing should be putting out 250 amps of power to blow those. So yeah, definitely I think it's a good idea to have that, rather not have the car burn down because the alternator overcharges and blows something up or whatever the case may be. So just trying to be safe, trying to keep safety in our mind, especially with all this wiring. And yeah, so let's see, go back to our powers. Now the alternator one goes on the bottom here. So that one goes to the mega fuse, and it's this guy straight to the battery. And then this one comes out of the battery through the mega fuse and up through the rear, which I'll go show you guys, to our kill switch. This is our Applied Racing Technology kill switch, right? Fancy handle, good spot, welded straight to the wall bar. Now it comes in from the battery to the post, and then this one comes out from the kill switch to our main power. So they run all along here on the sill, and it runs to that middle one. So that is our main power. So that's one we're going to tap for our relay board, which we just showed you. So our relay board will be on this panel right here, and this is just some plastic that we found. I think it's 1/8 inch thick plastic. Kind of just made it similar shape to the car itself, and then use two P-clamps over here on the roll bar with some nut certs on the back. I don't know if you can see that, right? And then just put two nut certs up front, up there to attach this panel. So this will be our wiring panel. Could have used carbon, but it's expensive and stuff like that. So, and this is where we'll mount our relay board. I've already got that done. So everything should look pretty good. It's just a matter of getting it done and mounting everything up. So we opted to use the 2-gauge welding cable wire. This is from a company called EWCS. Again, on Amazon. They're fairly priced, and their strain count and the quality of this wire is, I would say, pretty hard to beat, to be honest, because it's super flexible, right? And it's high strain count. I mean, it's really nice stuff. It's actually super heavy and really nice. So we got 2-gauge all in the car. So all three of these are 2-gauge. All the grounds are 2-gauge. All the powers are 2-gauge. And we're going to run a 4-gauge from our main output right there, the center guy, to our relay board. So I think that might be enough. I think it says in here to use 4 to 10. So that is a 4-gauge. We do have a small section of 4-gauge for our positive. And then this one says 18-gauge to ground. Now we have another 4-gauge one. I don't know if we're going to be able to snake that on there since it's much smaller. But I guess if we have to get some 18 gauge or 10 gauge or something, we'll just go ahead. I feel like you can't ground something enough. As in, if I run a 2-gauge wire on that, it's going to be fine. It's just more grounding. It's more filtering for that power. Quick little look of the switch panel in the car now. Started running the wire down the cage here. Just got it hanging out and got the board not really installed, but just kind of temporary in there. So as you can see, we got our power strap coming off the main power to the power lug on the relay board. Just got to make a ground and start wiring things up. So definitely going to be a big process, big job for sure. But you guys know how we do it. We do everything ourselves. So it's the fun and the beauty of building a car in your garage. So again, huge thanks to Steven over at Precision Fabrication Wiring. That's where you guys can get that kit that you saw. It comes with the leash board, the Race Wire Solutions switch panel, and their custom wiring kit for that board. So it's really nice. It's really cool how it comes as a package deal, which makes things a lot easier, especially for the DIYer like me. And yeah, I mean, really can't wait to get this thing wired up and finally hear it make some noise. Fortunately, we still don't have our intake manifold from Holley. They're still on back order, but they said that they're starting to ship them out May 31st. So hopefully we'll get that in here. I'm gonna go ahead, the intake mocked up, do the cold side, fix the hot side, and injectors and wiring, they'll be ready to go. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit a like, and drop a comment down below how you think the project's going so far. So like always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. We'll see you in the next episode.